Nakai-Nam Theun National Protected Area in Laos. We're on the third day of walk from the nearest village, headed towards the Nam River. Search for some signs of Saola. We have with us guides and porters from those nearest villages, which are ethnic Sek people. And I think behind me is somewhere is Mr. Neat, who is the village militia, come along for security for Vietnamese poachers that can be quite common in this area. Also have a writer with us, deBuys from the States, and two students from the National University, and staff of the Protected Area Management Authority. Our guides reading Vietnamese graffiti on the tree along the trail. Anyang ai? Yeah, that's their name. If you follow that trail down, there's water. Take directions for the other poachers coming in here. And what's Lake Tolasap, and that's their phone number. So here we are in the middle of Nakai-Nam Theun protected area, headed towards the Saola area, and the Vietnamese poachers have left graffiti on the tree, including their contact number. Should anyone see a Saola, please dial this number immediately, 24/7. Menbo. This is Mr. Vieng Sai, our guide from Ban Nameo. This is the head of the team, Mr. Mok Kao from Ban Nameo village. This is Mr. Oil of Ole, our student from Dong Dok University. Say hello, Ole.
Hello.
From the National University. And Mr. Suk Pavan, recent graduate of the National University, on his first Saola survey. And Mr. Meat lighting up on a rest break on the trail. And Mr. Son, who had a fever last night, but I think is feeling better. Bai Lao Ba Son. Sao Kai Lao. He seems to be feeling better. And here's Mr. Simuang, the head of the team from the Nakai-Nam Theun Management Authority, WMPA. Very handsome. Koi Thai video. I'm like Thai video di ni. Yeah. And you can hear the calls of two species of barbets, beautiful little fruit-eating bird. Okay, we're headed to the Nam Yang River, and then the Nam Yang River, walking up to some tributaries we hope have Saola. Law Ba. Your shoe gave out after the long walk yesterday? You're back, huh? Dinner in Nam Yang camp. Sticky rice with rattan shoot and maybe some fish in it, fish soup from the river. Simuang, sap ba.
Sap.
It's very good. Most of these villages are from Ban Nameo and Ban Buk, ethnic Sek. And we have honorary guest at the head of the alleged table, Bill deBuys, writer from New Mexico. How's the grub?
Just delicious.
Is it? Yes. Same kind of chili as they use in New Mexico? I suppose it should be. It came from there in some way or another.
Came from Mexico anyhow.
This is fish caught in the river. We pretty much all we're living on is sticky rice and what the guys can catch in the river or find in the forest. Rattan shoots and fish they caught. They're drying now. They told him, come on, Thai video. They told him to finish. Oh, Saola, Saola. Oh, chop me. So this is a plant that Simuang and Mr. Son found. The stream they climbed up today. Son says it's a type of plant that Saola will eat, but if so, it's new to me. But everything about Saola is new to almost everybody. But you can see some of the ends have been nipped of leaves. And that's actually characteristic of another plant that Saola typically eats, we're quite sure of. They just nip the leaves off the stem and don't rip the whole stem off. So that's at least consistent with that. So in the walk up the stream tributary they went today, they found this. But again, Mr. Son said it was very difficult because the streams in this area are very just pans of rock and boulders, so there's no substrate, no mud to hold tracks, so it's very hard to find any signs of animals. They could be there and they would be leaving no tracks behind. Is that right, Mr. Simuang? With his new camouflage deer hunter's cap, bow hunter's cap from Wisconsin, home of the mighty Green Bay Packers. That was brought to him special from Wisconsin by a friend of mine, and shows how it works. Brute fine, eh? Oi. Get lost in the dark. It's the if you lose the remote and need to turn on the Packer game, you have a light switch there. He said he's not tired. Good man. That's what I like to hear. By the way, Mr. Meat is not hunting Saola with that AK-47. He's part of the village militia, so he's brought along for security. And against, again, chance of meeting Vietnamese. We didn't find any signs of Saola on this stream, but we did find this interesting stuff. It's bits of twisted aluminum. We're not far from the Vietnam border, and we're just north of where the Ho Chi Minh Trail started in Laos, and we're in a very remote area. It took us 3 days to walk here, and even the villagers have never been here. The only thing this could be, I think, is from aircraft, probably American aircraft from the time of the Vietnam War. Whether it was actually part of wreckage that washed downstream, or it might just be part of an aluminum drop fuel tank. Here we're on a ridge above the Nam Yang on the 3rd of March, and we're into a wire snare line. There's a bicycle brake cable set down here to a snare and a trigger. And there's this brush fence you can see here behind Mr. Simuang. There's another snare. And we're so far from the nearest Lao or Sek villages. This is definitely set by Vietnamese poachers. And they make this brush fence, sometimes a kilometer long. And then periodically they have an opening here, and an animal walks through the opening. And okay, meat. Trickload. Animal walks through, steps in the opening, and gets caught like that, and hangs by the leg usually until they die, because the poachers just come back and check these every couple of weeks. And the animals like deer and things, or civets that may not have any medicinal value for their bones, are just rotted and not used. So the team is going to go up and down and collect the snares. In our team, we've offered them a reward for this trip, 1,500 kip for every snare they collect, which is about 20 cents or so. Give them a little extra motivation. So we've seen some of these that are a kilometer long with 300 snares. So there's another snare. And then you walk along, here's the brush fence. And here's another snare on a spring pole. And a deer or something just walks along, hits the fence, walks along it till it hits the opening, crosses the opening, and gets caught by the foot with the bicycle brake cable wire. Guys have come down the snare line, and we found in this one, unfortunately, a ferret badger, species of badger here in the Annamites. It's, you can see, has been hanging in the snare for a very long time. Died here hanging in the snare, and now is probably pretty much worthless to anybody. So this is a dead muntjac or barking deer. Probably a significant species by the looks of it. Yeah, what species are in the Annamites aren't completely sorted out. This is caught by the leg in one of the snares, and it's quite fresh. I mok keo, cho kit pa tai chak mu lao. Paman chak mu.
Nhâm nhâm để. Paman 3 มื้อ โอ้ย2 มื้อ คันมาตายทอด3 มื้อย่ำแดดนี่ลบขนออก
Yeah. He thinks it's about 2 days old. He said if it was older than that, it'd be easier to pull the hair out of it. And it's caught up by this leg and just struggled until it died, probably of thirst most likely, or distress. And we found just a barking deer leg in another snare. And I'm not sure what the story is, if the animal was caught high and was able to break free on 3 legs. And we found another place where an animal obviously had been caught and broke free. Probably a wild pig. It was big enough to bust a snare. But this could have been a Saola. It's a barking deer, more common species, but other than the rarity of a Saola, there's no reason this couldn't have been one caught in the snare. And this is a particularly sad one. This is a Duke Langer, considered one of the world's most beautiful monkeys. It's listed as on the IUCN Red List as a globally endangered species. It's found only in the Annamite mountains of Laos and Vietnam. And this one they usually arboreal. This one came to the ground for something. Got caught in the snare and hung here until it died.